The scene opens in a market that suddenly descends into chaos after an attack by a swarm of crows. The townspeople believe this is the work of a dark cult unleashing black magic. In the midst of the panic, the flock of crows flies toward the home of a young woman named Nguyen, who is in the middle of giving birth. But what shocks is the horrifying form of the baby Nguyen delivers. Because of this unnatural birth, the baby is labeled as a demon child. 9 years later, the baby has grown into a scruffy little girl named Panor. One day, a kind-hearted monk named Samchong notices her and begins to chant a prayer. But the moment he lays a hand on Panor, the monk suddenly coughs up blood, as if struck by a powerful curse. The villagers grow angry, and even her mom Nguyen blames Panor for being a bringer of misfortune, calling her cursed child. 8 more years pass. Now a teenager, Panor attends a local middle school. She can only watch from the sidelines while her classmates enjoy a sepak takraw match. Outside, a beautiful girl named Jib and her groups sneer at a cheerful student named Kompo, who is trying too hard to impress others. When the game ends, Jib trips Kompo intentionally. Kompo doesn't get upset. Instead, she smiles as a boy she likes, named Pong, helps her up. But her expression quickly changes to panic when she begins hallucinating that tarantulas are crawling all over her body. In reality, there are no spiders. Kompo is scratching at her skin violently, driven by a powerful illusion. After school, Panor works hard to help her family by delivering food her mother has prepared. But the townspeople still treat her like an outcast, calling her a demon child. Later, she delivers an order to Uncle Trison's photo studio. It's revealed that Panor has only one friend, Tayu, a bespectacled girl who always stays by her side. Although she was shunned by everyone at school, she still have Tayu, who loved playing with Panor. Ignoring the village gossip, T still considered Panor her best friend, and even took her to a local photographer to ask for some photos as future keepsakes. On their way home, the girls suddenly witnessed a fight. The debt collector was beating up some thugs, but was unfortunately stabbed in the stomach by one of them. But strangely, the man named Pyak was not injured, even after being stabbed. When Panor tries to help him, Pyak pushes her away. He still hasn't forgiven her for what happened 8 years ago, when his mother, a better fish seller, kicked Panor out of her shop. Not long after that, Pyak's mother died a gruesome death, and even though he doesn't know exactly what Panor did, Pyak blames her for it. That night, Nguyen is seen preparing a disturbing ritual at home. Before beginning, she gently strokes a strange black baby she has kept hidden for years. Just then, Panor returns home and hears a baby crying from the attic. She interrupts her mother's ritual, but instead of explaining, Nguyen scolds Panor for interfering. Panor sadly returned to her room and fell asleep. Later that night, Panor wakes from a nightmare where she sees her mother being sacrificed by a mysterious cult. She tells Tayu about the dream, describing a tattooed man performing a ritual and draws the symbol she saw. Tayu suspects the dream might be a clue and invites Panor to investigate. But when she realizes Panor is having her period for the first time, she suggests they go home instead. While Tayu goes to a pharmacy to buy medicine for her friends, she has a frightening encounter with a man who bears the same tattoo from Panor's dream. As soon as she got back, Tayu suddenly had a seizure, vomiting dozens of gecko eggs. She held her stomach and screamed in pain. Hearing the noise, Panor rushed out, but there was nothing she could do except watch her best friend suffer as dozens of geckos burrowed out from under her skin, killing her in agony. Just then, Inspector Tom arrived. Seeing the horrific scene, he couldn't believe his eyes. He believed that Panor was the killer of his daughter and locked her in jail. However, after forensic analysis, no evidence was found that the victim had been attacked from the outside. Inspector Tom had no choice but to release the girl. Back at home, Nguyen punishes Panor by locking her in her room, following the orders of someone else. It turns out that something significant is supposed to happen now that Panor has had her first period. At midnight, the moon suddenly turned blood red. Panor sat in her room, hearing strange noises echoing in her ears. She started to feel itchy all over and scratched herself until her skin peeled off. But the next morning, Panor appeared to everyone's shock. Her face had become incredibly beautiful, as if she had turned into someone else. Panor went to school and placed flowers on her friend Tayu's desk, then went to the funeral and made a vow that she would find the killer to avenge her friend. Pong is immediately smitten, and asks Panor out on a date. Later that night, they cross a river and head to a temple from her dream. But it's a trap. Jib and her friends are waiting there to ambush Panor. In a critical moment, Pyak shows up and helps Panor. He charged in and beat up the gangs, rescuing Panor from danger. It turned out earlier he had overheard Jib and Pong's conversation. Not wanting to abandon Panor, he decided to intervene. Pyak also urging her to stop being weak and start fighting back. After that, Panor begins plotting her revenge on Jib. She stormed into school with scissors, slashed Pong on the arm, and Jib got a cut across the face, making her scream in terror. After getting scratched with scissors by Panor, Jib visits a shaman named Ipa. It turns out that Jib was behind the spider curse on Kompo, driven by jealousy over Kompo's beauty. Now the shaman Ipa prepares a new spell, sending a mannequin curse to Panor. Caught by surprise, Panor couldn't react in time. She tried to hide, but was quickly found. The mannequin held a knife to Panor's neck, intending to kill her. Suddenly, a man appeared and smashed the puppet's head. Panor realized it was Uncle Trison. Now shaman tried to attack Panor directly from within. However, Uncle Trison quickly understood what was happening and repeatedly kicked Panor in the stomach, forcing the spirit to rebound, causing the shaman's body to explode and die on the spot. Afterward, Uncle Trison confronts Nguyen for failing to protect her daughter. He throws down wads of cash and reveals a dark secret. 17 years ago, Nguyen was paid by a cult to give birth to a demon child. But their plan failed when Panor was born. Now they intend to try again, this time using Panor as a new vessel. It's then that Panor realizes Uncle Trison was the one who cursed and killed Tayu. Uncle Trison didn't hide it and confessed he was part of the cult. The reason he saved Panor was because she was crucial to his plan. As he spoke, Panor's mother suddenly rushed in from behind, hit Uncle Trison, and escaped with her daughter. Uncle Trison wouldn't let them get away easily. He used dark magic to summon a flock of crows to chase them down. The birds targeted her mother, pecking and tearing at her, causing immense pain. Still, with her last strength, she brought Panor to her older sister's house. As she lies dying, Nguyen begs for forgiveness for the suffering she caused Panor. In that moment, Panor weeps as her mother dies in her arms. Meanwhile, Inspector Tom and Pyak, who had heard a loud commotion coming from Panor's house, went to investigate. After the death of the shaman Ipa, Jib accused Panor of using black magic to curse her. Without wasting any time, Inspector Tom and Pyak began to search the house. They were shocked to discover various ritual offerings and the figure of a pitch-black baby. Monk Samchong revealed that this baby was actually the demon child who had once terrified the village 17 years ago. The cult had planned to use the baby as a vessel for a demonic spirit. But unexpectedly, Nguyen gave birth to twins, causing the demonic power to be absorbed into Panor instead. Monk Samchong went on to reveal the real cause of Pyak's mother's death, how Panor, who was seen strangling her, was actually trying to absorb the dark magic inside her. This residual dark magic had made Pyak's body resistant to harm. Realizing this, Pyak deeply regretted ever harboring hatred toward Panor. Masuri then showed a photo of Nguyen and explained that she had once run away from home and been lured by the cult's offer, a large sum of money in exchange for carrying the demon child. Desperately poor, Nguyen agreed. Masuri also gave Panor a letter that Nguyen had written, in which she confessed that her alliance with the cult had ruined her life. After Panor was born and the original demon vessel died in the womb, Nguyen was forced to raise Panor until she turned 17, the age when the cult planned to make her the next vessel. Despite the hatred she showed, deep down, Nguyen truly loved Panor. Later, Uncle Trison sent a flock of crows to steal the dark power from Panor's body. Amid the chaos, Masuri performed a strengthening ritual. Panor finally says enough is enough. She absorbs all the dark magic, and becomes more powerful. Uncle Trison attempted to stop her, but Panor defeated him instead. Now empowered, Panor began seeking revenge on those who had hurt her. Pong tried to warn Jib to leave Panor alone, but Jib, believing a dark blood made her immune to magic, ignored the warning. That night, as Jib had just returned to her room, she was shocked to see Panor already waiting there. She tried to grab dark blood, but Panor quickly snatched a strand of her hair and wrapped it around a voodoo doll to restrain her. Panor then blew a white powder into Jib's face and let her go. Thinking she had been spared, Jib panicked and rushed out the door. But suddenly, Panor resurrected the corpse of Shaman Ipa to haunt Jib. Meanwhile, Pong was thanking Uncle Trison for a love potion he had given him to attract any woman he desired, when they were interrupted by a loud noise. After that, Panor and Uncle Trison began to fight, and after dousing him with cursed blood, Panor made an epic comeback and broke his spell, then stepped forward and killed Uncle Trison, avenging the death of her best friend. Eventually, Pong regained consciousness, only to realize he and Jib were trapped. Panor was enacting her revenge. Meanwhile at school, a foul odor led to a horrifying discovery. Several students who had bullied Panor were found dead in gruesome ways. And police were shocked to find Trison's body. Alongside the corpses of Pong and Jib, they found a photo linking Uncle Trison to the cult. In response, Principal Nata and the villagers held a prayer ritual to ward off evil, ending with a large feast. But they had no idea the food had been laced with Uncle Trison's flesh, enchanted with dark magic. One by one, the cult members began to fall sick, victims of Panor's final curse. Like what had happened to Nanda, Panor used black magic to destroy the cult from within. Amid the chaos, Pyak begged Panor to stop. But she refused, her heart set on avenging the pain they caused her. Suddenly, someone managed to block her curse. It was revealed that the cult's true leader was none other than Principal Nata, Panor's biological father, who had planted his seed in Nguyen's womb. He demanded Panor surrender, threatening to kill Pyak. To save him, Panor was forced to give in. The Principal Nata then brought Panor to the temple and prepared the same ritual he had once done to her mother. It turned out he wanted Panor to give birth to a child for him so he could store dark power within the baby. Even though Panor was his own daughter, he still planned to proceed. Meanwhile, Masuri was working to break the curse on Pyak. Thanks to her potions and spells, Pyak finally broke free of the magic. Inspector Tom and his squad arrived and began spying on the ritual. Just as the ritual was about to be completed, they intervened. Principal Nata summoned a swarm of crows, but Masuri managed to burn them before they could attack. Seeing time was running out, the cult leader placed the mask on Panor's head, trying to absorb her power. But Pyak arrived just in time to save her. However, he wasn't strong enough to fight the cult leader. Once again, Aunt Masuri acted, placing the dried fetus linked by blood to the cult leader into the raging fire. It caused the cult leader's body to ignite instantly. He fell to the ground in pain, but remained composed and used his power to fight back against Pyak. In a dire situation, Pyak asked Panor to stab him with a nearby bamboo stick to kill the cult leader behind him as well. After some hesitation, Panor thrust the bamboo through both of them. The cult leader collapsed, barely breathing. Panor stepped forward, slashed his chest, and ripped out his still beating heart, then devoured it. She finally obtained the full power of the cult. But instead of using it, Panor chose to end the cult's reign of terror over her village. In the aftermath, Pyak received intensive treatment for his injuries. Monk Samchong thanked Inspector Tom for his efforts. Thanks to Panor's reversal ritual, the village was finally freed from the cult. After a month in coma, Panor finally wakes up, and Pyak was relieved to see Panor conscious again. But now she had lost all her memories. The curse is over, but her journey just might be beginning again.